You know, the lion, right? We call him the king of the jungle. He's this huge symbol of power and majesty. But what if I told you that whole image we have, that title, it's not the whole story? Not even close.
So let's really get into it. What does that title actually mean for a lion's day-to-day life? We're going to pull back the curtain on this whole king thing and find out what's really going on behind the legend. Because once you start looking at the actual science and the real facts, a completely different and, honestly, a way more fascinating picture of the lion starts to take shape.
All right, so first things first, let's tackle the biggest myth of them all, the one that's literally in his name. We need to talk about his address.
Yeah, this one is kind of funny. We call him the king of the jungle, but lions don't actually live in jungles. The real kingdom, it's the huge, wide-open grasslands and plains of Africa. So right off the bat, he's a king without a jungle.
Okay, so he's the king of the plains. We can work with that. But surely his day must be packed with kingly duties. You know, patrolling his lands, ruling with an iron paw, all that good stuff, right? Well, let's take a look at the royal schedule.
No, really, think about it. What does a lion actually do all day? What does his daily planner look like?
Take a good look at this number, 20. Just let that sit there for a second. Yep, 20 hours. Every single day. The king of the plains spends the vast majority of his life napping. He's less of a busy ruler and more of a professional sleeper.
Let's break that down because it's pretty wild. 20 hours of sleeping leaves just 4 hours for, well, everything else. In that tiny window, he gets about 2 hours of walking and only around 50 minutes to eat. It's a seriously relaxed lifestyle for a so-called king.
So, if the king is basically asleep on the job, who's actually running the show? Who's doing all the heavy lifting? Well, it's time to meet the real power players in this kingdom, the queens.
Check this out, 90%. This one number, it changes everything you think you know about a lion pride.
Because that's how much of the hunting is done by the lionesses. They are the ones who provide for the family. They bring home the food that feeds the entire pride, including, you guessed it, the sleeping king.
So you can see here, the jobs are split up pretty clearly. The king's job is to be the bouncer. He's big, he's powerful, and his main role is to protect their territory from other rival males. But the queens, they're built for business. They're smaller, quicker, more agile, perfectly designed for the hard work of hunting and feeding everyone.
And man, are they good at what they do. They usually hunt at night, where, get this, their vision is 6 times better than us in the dark. They're so powerful they often kill their prey by strangulation, and when they eat, they can put away up to 40 kilos of meat in a single meal. They are the absolute engine of the pride.
All right, let's recap. He doesn't live in a jungle, he sleeps all day, and the females do almost all the work. So, why is he the king at all? What actually gives him the crown? Well, there is one thing, one incredible feature that secures his title.
This is the million-dollar question, right? If his power isn't in what he does, where does it come from? It all comes down to his voice.
I love this quote because it's so true. When a male lion talks, it is not a suggestion. It is a declaration of power that you can feel from miles away.
How far away? 5 miles. That's how far a lion's roar can travel. It's a sound that literally shakes the ground and draws the boundaries of his kingdom in the air itself.
And that roar isn't just for show. It's a sophisticated multi-tool. It's a warning to other predators. It's a stay-out sign for competing males. It's how he attracts a mate, and it's how he communicates with his own pride. His voice is his power.
But here's the thing. That incredible, powerful roar, we're hearing it less and less across Africa. Because the king's reign is facing its biggest threat ever. His whole kingdom is in peril.
This number it's tough to see, 23,000. That is the stark, sobering estimate for how many lions are left in the wild, in the entire world.
And, 23,000 might not sound that small, but let's put it into perspective. When you compare it to, say, the African elephant population, which is around 415,000, you suddenly realize just how fragile and terrifyingly low that number for lions really is.
So, the real takeaway here is a much richer picture of the lion, a king whose power is in his presence, supported by a court of incredibly powerful queens. But all of this leaves us with one final and pretty urgent question. With their numbers this low, is the king losing his kingdom for good?